Week 10, Saints versus Vikings. New Orleans is favored by 2.5. I'm going to take Minnesota here. I'll walk you through what I'm thinking. So the raw model has uh, Minnesota with a 57% chance of winning, which comes out to almost 2 points. But obviously Kirk Cousins is out. He's out for the season, and so that changes a lot of things. So let's kind of take a look at what that is. So if this had been uh, closer to an even, you know, minus half point one way or the other, I'd probably go with New Orleans. So let's kind of walk through what I think the numbers here are saying. So when I come over here to the box plots, again, nearly identical between the two. Definitely some more of that upside when we look over here for Minnesota. But again, that's taking all Kirk Cousins data here. And then I the Bayesian analysis gives slight advantage to New Orleans in this case. The yellow means it's a moderate probability, basically saying, yeah, we've slightly overestimated both of these teams, but um, it's kind of one of those things where uh, you have to use your judgment on what you think each team is really doing on this one. And so when I look at it, uh, when we look at the ratings, when we come down here in the middle, you see that Minnesota, they've been relying on Kirk Cousins. That's why that's ratings. That's why it's green. And then I color code it here for a reason. You've got the red for the offensive rush rank. Well, when you have Kirk Cousins on your team, sometimes you're just going to go with what you think is your strength. Well, last week that wasn't their strength, and they ran the ball, and they ran it pretty well. That's one of the reasons why they ended up winning, as we saw right over here. And they actually looked pretty good doing it. Granted, Atlanta is not the same as playing San Francisco, but nonetheless, they demonstrated that they could run the ball. Then I also look at it, and they still have a strong defense. Okay, so they're going to be a strong defensive team that runs the ball, controls the ball. Then when I come over to New Orleans, they're kind of all over the place. And what I would also point out, we'll see this the performance charts. Well, okay, we won't necessarily see it, but they have a poor rushing defense, and Minnesota is probably going to have to rely on that running game. And what better time to do that than when you're playing against a team with a poor rushing defense? So when we come over here, what I would point out is with the model, with the season's worth of data shows that they've been at that 65 to 75 yard mark with their current rushing team, but being pass heavy team, what I would expect is that they're going to operate more, aim for that 150 yard mark, like what they did last year, control the ball because their passing game is probably going to be down here at this lower end with that as well. I would point out that New Orleans has been able to air it out and score some points in some times, but we'll see how that goes. Um, Otherwise, the teams look, got a little bit more sacks over here against New Orleans. Uh, Definitely some, the interceptions is not all that crazy. Both teams are controlling the ball, and both teams have about the same level of explosiveness in this game. And so with that, I think Minnesota is really just going to play a more traditional game, and I think they've got the players to do it. So I'm not willing to take what's been a up and down, inconsistent New Orleans team with what I think has probably been a fundamentally good team that's had some bad breaks in Minnesota. So if you found this helpful or you like what you listen to, like and subscribe. And if you got any questions, go ahead and send me a message. Thank you.